Here are the answers for the Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Trabalenguas, Practícalo. Number 1 is pronounced cuando cuentes cuentos. Cuando cuentes cuentos. The translation is literally, when do you tell stories? If you were curious, keep in mind that the C is followed by a U, so it'll be making a K sound. The U and A together make a W sound, so cuando, and then the UE make a W sound, so cuentes and cuentos. Cuando cuentes cuentos. Cuando cuentes cuentos. Number 2 is Jorge juega con los juguetes de Jimena. Jorge juega con los juguetes de Jimena. If you're curious, the translation is George plays with Jamie's games. Spanish doesn't really have an apostrophe S, so to show possession, it says George plays with the games of Jamie, but translates cleanly to Jamie's games. For this one, keep in mind that the J makes an H sound, so we've got Jorge, juega, juguetes, Jimena. Then Jorge ends in a GE, so it's also going to make an H sound. Jorge. Juega, however, ends in a GA, so that's a hard G. Juega. Con and los, of course, have the same O vowel sound. Con, los. And then juguetes, this one is hard to figure out, but the U's job is just there to pronounce the sound of that G in juguetes. Remember the rule written Spanish follows spoken Spanish? This is that rule in action. Juguetes comes from the verb jugar, which has a hard G sound. So when we spell juguetes, we need to preserve that G sound. Jugetes isn't going to cut it. So that's why the U is in there, but not pronounced. It's there to protect that hard G sound, juguetes, but not influence anything else. So, all together one last time, Jorge juega con los juguetes de Jimena. Number 3, hoy hay horas de ayer. Hoy hay horas de ayer. This one tested you on your H's and Y's. Actually, we get to see Y used as both a vowel and consonant here, but first, the translation. Today, there are hours from yesterday. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I'll give you that, but it has plenty of sounds to practice, and who said trabalenguas had to make sense anyways? So we know the H's aren't going to be pronounced, so it's not hoy, hey, and horas. It's hoy, ay, horas. But then we've got all those Y's, so how do we know how to pronounce them? Honestly, some of it is just going to come with time, practice, and familiarity. Over time, certain things will just start sounding better than others, but here the Y is being used as a vowel in hoy and I, so those are pronounced with that vowel E sound. But in ayer, it's used as a consonant, so it's ayer. One last time, all together. Hoy hay horas de ayer. Number 4. Tres tristes tigres traen trigo. Tres tristes tigres traen trigo. This translates to 3 sad tigers bring wheat. Tres tristes tigres traen trigo. I don't know why they're sad. Maybe they're gluten-free, I don't know. But pronunciation-wise, we get to practice the T's and R's next to each other a little bit, as well as E's and I's. The biggest thing to remember for this one is that the vowels do not change their sounds no matter what's around them. Of course, with diphthongs, sometimes they might appear to change pronunciation, but if you slow it down, the diphthongs are truly just the same exact vowel sounds as always, just rushed together. Tres tristes tigres traen trigo. If you can't pronounce your R's like this yet, it's not a rolled R. That would sound like tres tristes tigres traen trigo. That's a little excessive. It's not a rolled R. This is just tres tristes tigres. Either way, if you can't do either yet, that's totally fine. Folks will understand you. That's what an accent is. It's okay if you're saying tres tristes tigres traen trigo. That makes sense. You're all right. You're doing great. All right, move on to number 5. La araña con maña amaña la laña. La araña con maña amaña la laña. I did have to look this translation up and it had a few to choose from, but my best translation is this. The spider skillfully adjusts the bracket. I guess Arachne decided to get into architecture after being punished for being too good at weaving? Anyways, this trabalengua works on your ñ and a pronunciation. In English, that a would have switched sounds like 5 times in that one tongue twister. La araña con mana, amaña, la lana. No. Spanish, it's consistently the same. La araña con maña, amaña, la lana. Number 6, la quinta generación quebró 500 gemas de la jirafa. La quinta generación quebró 500 gemas de la jirafa. I'm going to say that one more time because those are big words. La quinta generación quebró 500 gemas de la jirafa. The 5th generation broke 500 giraffe gems. I don't know if we're talking about like online money or literal gems that belong to giraffes or what, but you got to challenge your ability to break down multisyllabic words in this one and figure out how to pronounce them. So starting with quinta, because we already know la. Quinta is quinta, not cuenta, because QU in Spanish is going to make a k sound, not a qu sound. Generation is generación. It of course looks identical, but it's going to be pronounced with that H sound instead of the hard G sound because we have that GE starting. Generación. Quebró, again, we've got a quebró and not a quibro. Quinientas is quinientas, not quinientas. And gemas is gemas, not gemas, because of that GE. And then, of course, de la jirafa. Going back over that whole sentence, just looking at emphasis. La is one syllable, no worries there. Quinta ends in a vowel, so emphasis is going to go to the second to last syllable. Quinta. Generación has an accent mark, so we disregard everything we know about words ending in NA, having a second to last syllable emphasis, and just focus on that ción. Generación. Quebró also has an accent mark, so we ignore everything we know about words ending in vowels and just go quebró. Quinientos ends in an S, so we know that the emphasis is going to go second to last, quinientos. And gemas also ends in an S, so gemas, not gemas. De, la, again, are just one syllable, so we speed past them and end with jirafa, ending again in, guess what, a vowel. So we pronounce it jirafa, not jirafa or jirafa, but jirafa. La quinta generación quebró 500 gemas de la jirafa. We are almost done. We're at number 7 now. La vieja bruja prepara un brebaje para el viaje. La vieja bruja prepara un brebaje para el viaje. This one translates to the old witch prepares a potion for the trip. We get to practice V's and B's in Spanish sounding the exact same, as well as different vowel clusters not running together as a diphthong. La vieja bruja prepara un brebaje para el viaje. Ellas llaman a ellos para las llaves de librería. Librería is what's called a false cognate. It looks like a library, but it translates to bookstore. This is because libro is book in Spanish, and ría is the suffix that means store of. So librería is a store of books, bookstore. The sentence translates they, the they here being totally females, call them being a mixed group or all guys, for the bookstore keys. This one works your ellas and finding the right emphasis when there aren't a lot of accent marks to guide your way. So you know that it's not going to be ellas llaman a ellos para las llaves de librería. It's ellas llaman a ellos para las llaves de librería. So there you go. How'd you do? If you want to challenge yourself with more trabalenguas, I've left a link to a webpage full of tongue twisters in the references section of this chapter. Great work. Consider having a great day, but in the end, it's up to you. Bye!